Hello and welcome to Greenfield, Wisconsin. It's the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open. I'm Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. Some of the best collegiate and high school bowlers in southeastern Wisconsin battling it out here as the Hard Knocks Road to Gold series continues.
And a couple of familiar faces on the show. Brent Boho's made our first two shows we've had already this summer here on Spectrum Sports. Courtney Ermish, who won our last title at the High Five Gear Open at Sunset Bowl, she makes the finals again on TV. So it's going to be a pretty interesting day. A couple familiar faces on TV, a couple newer faces on TV, but the bowling's going to be good. Scores were a little bit lower than we expected today, but something tells me when these young players get to TV, the adrenaline's going to get going. I think the scores are going to go up a bit.
A little different of an oil pattern here and a 41-foot kind of PBA type of pattern, Phil.
Yeah, tough patterns we always put out for these Road to Gold series tournaments because the kids are getting ready for Junior Gold in Cleveland and Teen Masters in Richmond, Virginia this year, and want to get them ready. The best way to do it, have them replicate the patterns.
All right, we'll get going with the boys first. Next here as the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open gets underway next here on Spectrum Sports.
My first mission, defuse a bomb. My next mission, rescue hostages. Then, I was chosen to protect a VIP. All that, and not even a scratch.
Hard Knocks is the world's largest indoor combat simulation arena. Experience real-life combat situations with realistic weaponry using no projectiles. Come to Hard Knocks and choose your mission today.
Are you ready to play? Hard Knocks, beyond laser tag, your indoor war.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Welcome back to Greenfield, Wisconsin. It's the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow, and as we were talking about in the Open, Phil, that's the man right there. The summer of Boho continues.
Yeah, Brent Boho having a phenomenal 2017 in the youth ranks, and he makes his third consecutive TV show with us here on Spectrum Sports, and looking to get in the victory column. He's 0 for 2 this year.
Sneaking up to the foul line in a very crouched position.
Yeah, that very unique two-handed style that Brent has makes it work for him. I remember his mom, Kim, talking one time going, yeah, he tried bowling one-handed and he was the worst bowler you've ever seen. So two-handed works great for him, and you know, the very unique style, the very unique ball roll he has.
Yeah.
Very high track on that bowling ball, but I think it really helps him keep the ball in play in a lot of different conditions, especially the ones he's hitting out here on this Hard Knocks Road to Gold tour this summer. This pattern here, 41 feet in length, very flat. It's the same pattern we had during the Wisconsin Women's Open here you saw recently on Spectrum Sports. And we saw there, tough for the women to average over 210 on that pattern. And pretty much the same today. The only bowler to average over 210, the young man we saw first, Brent Boho. Dylan Schaefer not too far behind though. Averaged just over 209 for his qualifying games.
Our first look, the 19-year-old out of Racine. That looked good going in. What happened there?
Just crept up a little high. They're trying to play this 41-foot pattern pretty tight. There's a lot of volume in the pattern, so it plays a little bit longer than the actual length. So you usually see the players, they're trying to get that break point around 11th, 12th board on this pattern. And Dylan just a little bit left of that. Not a lot of hold in the middle. Creeps through, almost left the 410, kicked it out, and manages to cover the 10 pin.
I was going to say, like I said, it looked great going into the pocket, but we saw it in the replay. That was just very odd pin action. So.
And Dylan looking for a little revenge on Brent as well. Dylan taken out of the Barbier's Italian Inn Open Finals from Sussex Bowl earlier this summer by Brent Boho. So once again, winner today of this event gets a $100 Visa gift card. Thanks to Gina Darashevsky here and Classic Lanes Greenfield for hosting this great event. I know these kids are looking to get those gift cards to buy all that good stuff when they get to Cleveland for Junior Gold, and it's always good to have a little bit of extra spending money when you're on the road.
Gift cards, very, very good thing.
And all these players receiving gift cards as well from Hard Knocks, the indoor war. Can't wait for that.
Pew, pew, pew.
To get open out in Pewaukee a little later this summer. We'll be bringing you details on that as the summer goes along, and a great shot there by Boho.
Yeah, laid up just nice. Beautiful pocket strike.
See some of the players back there. Our champion from Sussex Bowl, Jalen Hainan, hanging out watching these players take to the lanes.
That just sat beautifully. Another solid pocket strike for
Winner of this match takes on our girls' final winner between Courtney Ermish and Stephanie Followbeck. Followbeck, a winner last year on the Hard Knocks Road to Gold Tour. Took out Billy Hibbard in the championship match.
And there he goes, tripping out that 10 pin for another strike, doubling it up.
Oh, you see that ball that Brent's using? It's got a little bit of shine to it. So even though the lane pattern's long because of his ball roll and his rev rate, really wants to make sure he keeps control of that ball all the way down lane. So obviously a scuffed bowling ball is going to roll up a little early. Might be a little bit tough for him to control by the time it gets to the pocket. Keeping that ball in control. Dylan Schaefer using the same thing, an aggressive bowling ball, but with a little polish on it to just bring it down a bit.
You wouldn't think that they would be adding surface with a pattern like this, especially in Brent Boho's case with all the rev that he produces.
Well, that's why that little bit of polish is really coming in handy. You take away the aggressive peaks and valleys you get on those scuffed bowling balls, and then you just kind of get that smoother look with it. You don't want that hockey stick look you get that can really get you in trouble on these tougher sport-type patterns.
Dylan Schaefer, the 19-year-old out of Racine. There he goes. Nice pocket strike using the No Rules Pearl and the Pitch Blue in his arsenal today.
And a good three-bagger. And we've seen Brent all season long get out to early leads and just kind of cruise his way to a couple of victories in these early matches. Dylan Schaefer not scared off by Boho at all. Puts up a three-bagger to make Brent think about throwing another one to stay tied in this match early.
Every pin counts out here. Boho, look at that, sitting right there, another solid pocket strike.
Yeah, both these players, I mean, when you get to these sport patterns, you get to these tougher PBA type patterns, you just look where the ball can pick up in front of the pocket, have a nice strong roll, drive all the way through, let the ball do the work through the pins. It doesn't have to be from an extreme outside angle. You can have a relatively flat angle, and if that ball is chugging through the pocket, it's going to take all 10 down like we've seen for both these players so far.
In Boho's case, we've seen him before here on these telecasts. It goes to show, and there's something to say about being in these situations. Boho's not been on the winning end of things, as we've said in the Open. You think he's learned things, and obviously he's worked on things after these tough matches on TV.
Well, he's learned how to strike in the high five gear fifth frame because I think that's his third or fourth gift certificate this summer already.
Nice.
$25 in merchandise from High Five Gear. Get your jersey or your power sleeve or towels, anything you want. High Five Gear can throw on fabric for you.
Dylan
and
cashes in too.
Yeah, so both these young players, and they love their High Five Gear jerseys. They wear them to every tournament we have here for the Hard Knocks Road to Gold Tour. And they're both already thinking about what design can I get on my jersey next.
You have to keep the jersey evolving year after year.
Exactly. And boy, if you would have told me there would have been 8 strikes on the board in the first 10 shots between these two players, Van, I would have said, no way. It's been a tough battle on this pattern for most of the players.
Yeah, I think you just Nelson Burton Jr. Dylan. Phil, way to go.
No, I did not do that. He just started that one a little left and a little quick. You see he's back at the ball return. He goes, yep,
yeah,
that's
he knows
all
it
me.
too. He knows it too. As we see the replay straight through the head, just a slight miss of target and picks up early.
Well, and he's lucky that he just left something makeable here with the 3-6-10. And he chops it.
Okay, Nelson Burton Jr. The 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open continues next here on Spectrum Sports.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
Greenfield, Wisconsin is the place. The 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open continues. This young man right here, Brent Boho out of Sussex, 19 years old, with the hot hand, stringing those strikes, and continues with a messenger. Look at that pin action.
Put that 10 pin to bed.
Wow.
Not even reading a bedtime story. String out to 5 in a row for Boho, and that's what you expect when your opponent leaves an open going into the commercial break. When you're a champion like Boho wants to be, you got to take advantage of that and just step on the accelerator, pull away from the opponent. Now he's up by 27, looking to go to 37 if he keeps the string going, Van.
Boho's arsenal today is the high wire and the tropical storm.
Yeah, the high wire, medium aggressive bowling ball, a little polish on that. Gets the length through the last 19 feet of this pattern.
And sits there and strikes. That was beautiful.
And just a prime example of you don't need an excessive amount of entry angle to get all 10 pins down. The strong roll through the pocket is what's doing it for Boho right now. And you hate to say it's pretty much wrapped up at this point in time, but the way Brent's throwing the ball, it's going to be tough from Schaefer to come back from that open frame. It's going to take nothing but strikes out of Dylan to put the pressure on Boho getting to the end of this game.
Yeah, Brent Boho with 6 in a row at the moment. Dylan Schaefer, a 4-bagger, an open, and bounces back with the strike. That's one thing I was going to say. Sometimes an open like that and a match like this can really throw you off your game.
Well, you just got to kind of shake it off like Dylan, as you see. He's, the deep breath at the back of the ball return there after that shot, and he knows he's dug himself a hole by chopping the 3 off the 3-6-10 in the 6th frame. The only thing you can do is keep throwing strikes and hope your opponent gives you a chance to get back in the match.
Hello to Dylan's, ooh, very nice, parents, Brenda and Jeff, along with grandparents Karen and Bruce, who are watching.
I think Dylan got away with one on that one. He really picked up the speed on the way through. Very direct line of the pocket, and 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 wrongs make a strike sometimes. And I think that was the case for Mr. Schaefer right there. Gets himself back in the match, only down by 27, but Brent Boho shows no sign of stopping throwing strikes.
19-year-old out of Sussex, Wisconsin, going for 7 in a row.
And they've been no doubters. I mean, you watch how he's packed the pocket those last 7 shots. You're not worried about a 10-pin leaving there. I mean, the great shot he had out of the commercial break in the 6th where the messenger came over, took out the 10. That shot there splits the 8 and the 9, and Boho just on fire. And if he strikes here in the 9th frame, it's almost impossible for Schaefer to put any pressure on Boho in the 10th frame unless Schaefer were to strike out as well.
Crazier things have happened on these telecasts. A strike to put the pressure on Schaefer. Wow, what just happened?
You're an eighth of an inch either direction at the pocket from having that 6-pin kick off the sideboard and take out the 10. Instead, up and around, the ball drives through. Just a bad break at a bad point in time for Boho.
An 1/8 of an inch, that much of a difference.
You hit an 1/8 of an inch. Either way, that 6-pin takes a little different trajectory after the 3-pin hits it and ends up taking out the 10-pin instead of going around it.
So, a little bit of a different situation here. A strike really to close out Schaefer on that last throw. That wasn't the case with the 10-pin. Dylan really needs to strike here and go off the sheet.
Well, 253 is Schaefer's maximum right now. That would force Boho to mark in the 10th frame to get into the 250s. And really that 7 and 1 he had in the 6th frame, that count kind of hurting him right now.
Whoa. Straighter is greater? What?
I think it's just another mistake he made. And he happened to throw it hard enough to keep the ball on line.
It was like a rocket to the pocket almost.
It was almost the same thing he did in the 8th frame.
Yeah, so
he's got to kind of refocus, get everything together, make sure that if he does miss left, he doesn't slow it down, because we saw what happened when he slowed it down in the 6th frame. It was right through the nose.
I wonder if he's still in his head about that open in the 6th frame.
I don't think so, not the way he's throwing it right now. He's just trying to put pressure on his opponent. He knows he's still in this match. He knows if he throws another strike here and good count on the fill ball, he has a chance to make Boho mark in the 10th frame, and we've seen it in the past. All a bowler needs a mark. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do. Let's see. He's made a little bit of a move with his feet back to the right a bit, so after that last shot, went a little too far down lane for him.
That
Much
looks a
better.
little better, yep. And a solid pocket strike for Dylan.
So now, wants to make sure he gets at least an 8 count. That puts him at 251. And that would force Brent Boho to really just get a mark with decent count in the 10th frame. Any mark would do it.
A great test for these kids. You know we're going to see Dylan and Brent
But it's always
make a run, a PBA run.
It's always a tough one to take because here you go, you're going to shoot a game in the 250s, 252 to be exact, and you gave it your all. You just shot your high game of the day, and it might not be enough because you're bowling against the hottest bowler in southeastern Wisconsin right now, and he's putting up the score at the same time you are.
Battle of the 19-year-olds and Dylan Schaefer and this young man right here out of Sussex, Brent Boho.
And they see each other a lot in the college season. Boho going to St. Ambrose in Iowa, while Dylan Schaefer goes to Clark University in Iowa. So they're about 80 miles apart during the college season. And many college meets bowling against each other, and now back here in southeastern Wisconsin as they're home from school for the summer.
Needs this first one for sure.
How about that, Van?
Beautiful strike. I wouldn't say solid pocket strike because it entered a little light as we check out the replay here.
Well, once, as you see, the 6-pin kicks off the sideboard we talked about in the shot in the 9th frame. He just happened to be a little bit farther back in the pocket. Got the good break off the sideboard. Now just keep it on the lane. He gets a chance to end the 0-for streak against the young ladies here because he's guaranteed to bowl either Courtney Ermish or Stephanie Fallebeck in the championship match here from Classic Lanes Greenfield.
A chance for redemption.
Well, you know he's looking forward to it. I mean, he doesn't care who you are on the lanes. He just does not want to lose to anyone. He could care less if it's, he'd bowl his own grandma and he wouldn't want to lose. Well, let's not get carried away here.
Hey now.
But we understand, where Brent's coming from with this.
Yeah, grandma taking Brent to all the tournaments and stuff. So as Brent wraps up here, we will take a quick break and continue with the ladies next here from Classic Lanes Greenfield. You are watching Spectrum Sports. Welcome back to the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open. We saw the boys go. It's the ladies' turn. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. The Battle of Robert Morris University.
Yeah, both these young ladies attend Robert Morris. Courtney just finished her sophomore year. Stephanie Fallebeck finished her freshman year. And that's how you throw the sophomore strikes, apparently, Van.
Those crossovers, that's how the sophomores do it?
Yeah, a little break on that shot for Ermish. And she's our most recent champion on the Hard Knocks Road to Gold Tour. Won our last event, the High Five Gear Open at Sunset Bowl. And beat Brent Boho in the final match of that event. I wonder if Brent's hoping for a little revenge, hoping that Courtney wins this match, but I'm sure it doesn't matter to Brent once again, who he's going to be battling for that $100 Visa gift card and the title here at Classic Lanes Greenfield.
Well, seeing Brent Boho on TV again, it's a good day for sure. Not a good start here for Stephanie.
Nope. 41-foot pattern, not a lot of lefties out here today, so her pattern should be relatively undisturbed. They're bowling on the remnants of where they started the day on in qualifying. No re-oil before television. So she should have a pretty pristine shot, just a matter of finding in the right range on lane to lane here on lanes 13 and 14 at Classic Lanes Greenfield.
Am I detecting a little lefty favoritism there, Phil?
Absolutely. You know what, Van? I always root for my fellow lefties when they're on television. And
okay.
You have to make sure that we get a little lefty representation once in a while on our shows.
Fallebeck here.
And not a bad lefty to have out here with Fallebeck. She won last year in our Barbier's Italian Open at River City Lanes in Waterford to start off her season.
Much, much better. Solid pocket strike for Stone.
She took out Billy Hibbard in that championship match. She's looking to get back on it. She's getting cheered on by Mom back there. Always good to have family present as you're bowling along here. And Courtney, of course, her dad Mike and her mom Dawn, her two biggest fans on the lanes.
Ermish out of Big Bend, and Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily nerves or just poor execution on Courtney's part. A couple of shots she's really gotten away with. The crossover break frame 1, and that one crawls up high, and 2-pin does damage on the 4 and 7 off the sideboards to get the opening double in the early 10-pin lead. And can't wait to get out to Pewaukee when Hard Knocks opens later this summer. Pew pew. And treat these bowlers to a little day of the indoor war, a little bit of a different battle than being on the lanes.
Well, that'll be fun. That will be fun. Looking forward to that. And straight through the nose here for Courtney.
So the big break, these subtle angles that the players are using through the lane, not the excessive break points. Going to break up a few more splits to the normal, and Courtney does so, taking the 6-10 out late, leaving just the 4, and polyester ball for the spares.
Yeah. Grab it off the chair there. In Courtney's arsenal today, the No Rules Pearl, the Alpha Crux, and the IQ Tour.
Keeps that game clean with the 3rd frame spare. I want to thank our buddy Joe Serrar, his counterpart at Bowlers Pro Shop, Dennis Jerez, all the help they've given these young players over the years. Great sponsorship of our shows here on Spectrum Sports, and can't wait to get Joey back behind the mic for a couple of events later on this summer. Know he's enjoying some time with his new grandchild.
Oh,
this summer.
That takes over everything. That changes your world. Congratulations to Joey, and get back here in the booth, brother. We miss you.
Followback creeps up a little high once again, this time just 6-pin high, so see she's got that kind of puzzled look on her face. She knew she threw that one a bit better, but still chugged up a little high. Single pin spare shouldn't have much of an issue with it. See that reaction there? I know I'm close. Should have fell for me.
Stephanie out of Kenosha.
Oh, that's got some problems.
Indian Trail High School. Wow.
And you saw her with the release there, kind of lofted on the lane, kind of had a little upward trajectory early, and that's the grab to the right for a left-hander and just pulls it past the 6-pin, and the last thing you want to do is give your opponent an unforced error.
Well, we saw it in the last match with Dylan Schaefer and Brent Boho. Dylan with the 4-bagger and then opening, and then he bounced back, almost went off the sheet and put the pressure on Brent. Let's see how Stephanie bounces back here. All right.
Head pin does damage on the whole right side.
Like a lawnmower.
Yeah, that was about it. It came spinning off that sideboard, took out the 6-pin first, then the 5 and the 10. And get that ball working, get yourself back in the match. But now you have to sit and watch as your opponent steps up for her next 2 frames. And Ermish, pretty locked in so far. Better shot out of the hand than last time on that lane. You see that strong roll, Van.
Solid pocket strike for Ermish. Whatever nerves, whatever she was dealing with in those opening frames, long gone now.
No, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you're coming off of a championship in your last event. You've bowled well recently. You have the feeling going on that nothing's going to beat me, and then the TV lights come on, and all of a sudden the butterflies start to flutter a bit more. And they always flutter a little bit more in this high 5-gear 5th frame because these young players know, hey, that's a $25 merchandise award from High 5 Gear. I have to make sure I get that. Needing to get myself another good jersey, and how about that for the wall shot? Returning the favor.
Makes her strike. It'll go. A strike is a strike, Phil. Come on.
It looks good on the scoreboard, and that gets her lead out to 31 pins over Followback. And just watch that head pin do the damage off the sideboard. And that's where ball speed is always important. You don't want to throw that ball so slow that the head pin gets trapped in that flat gutter, because all of a sudden you're going to leave a 5-pin or a 4-5 or something worse.
Looking at Courtney's reaction, she was like, really? That went? Yes, it did, and it does not go for Stephanie. 7.
Yeah, 4-pin just kind of lays in the flat gutter, gets trapped there, doesn't do the damage on the 7, and as we see a lot with our PBA 50 players from the work you've done with us on Extra Frame, Van, and people haven't subscribed to Extra Frame yet, they really should, because they can relate to a lot of the PBA 50 players more than the tour players, because average ball speeds, average rev rates, a little bit more like us league players. And then you can get those little bit of tips, and a lot of times you see when the players are leaving the weak corner pins, they'll play a line where they kind of get the ball to face up a little bit early and throw a little more ball speed so that 6-pin rattles out of the flat gutter and takes out the 10.
Yeah, if you're a bowling fan, for sure, PBA.com. Find out all about Extra Frame. Some legends out on the PBA 50 Tour.
And
Rudy Revs, Norm Duke, Walter Ray.
And that's just a little quick out of Followback's hand there. You can see she's not happy with the release, and I think she's got a little bit of a difference from lane to lane. I think lane 13 is playing a little bit tighter for her than 14 is, and she's going to need to make that adjustment quickly. You see right there just the reaction. Can't believe it didn't come up.
Right.
So.
But there's something to be said about attitude up here. You know, you're in a pressure situation. You're trying to win some gift cards and some relief for your future tournaments, and the trouble continues for Stephanie here. It's the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open. Van McNeil and Phil Bryla will be right back. Welcome back to the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open. Van McNeil and Phil Bryla on the call here as Courtney Ermish returns for frame number 6.
Yeah, big 46-pin lead for Ermish. Starting to look like we're going to have a rematch of our last title event here on Spectrum Sports. And with Ermish throwing strikes like that, yeah, it's going to be very tough for Followback to catch up at this point in time. 56 pins now the lead. And that's the way you want to come out of a commercial break, fan.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
pack 10 back, and makes you feel a little bit better and makes your opponent feel a little bit worse knowing that you're locked in like that.
Courtney, the 20-year-old out of Big Bend, a hello to mom, dad, grandparents as well.
She's had a good run at that Sean Yona Memorial up in Sheboygan the last couple of years. Won the College Girls Division in 2016, finished in 3rd in 2017. And boy, when she turns 21, it's gonna be a loss to the youth tournaments around here. She's a strong player, and she's definitely driven a lot of young ladies to better their performance in events. With all of the great finishes Courtney's had in these youth tournaments with us here on Spectrum Sports.
I'm sure we'll see both of these ladies make a run at the PWBA. Also some more action you can catch on Extra Frame and on CBS Sports Network.
How about that for Followback, though? Comes right back out. She knows she's not dead yet. I mean, we've seen 50-pin swings go away in 3 or 4 frames. Problem is that she has to strike out for 213 at the way Ermish is pacing right now. Ermish is pacing out in the 220s, so she's going to definitely need some help from Courtney Ermish and Followback in mandatory strike mode right now.
As we see Brent Boho in the background getting loose and getting ready. Phil, two opens in a match. Hard to dig out of. Down but not out.
Oh, when your opponent's working on a 4-bagger as well, you give them the 2 opens, and they put a 4-bagger on top of your open frames. Yeah, that's a tough hole to dig out of, but never say die for Followback, looking to try to get back into this. Just a matter of now, Ermish should just basically stay clean and walk through to the championship match.
Ermish, an IA award winner, and wow, that got away from her.
Yeah, a little quick out of the hand. And she's shaking her head on the way back, knows that she amped up the speed a little bit. Easy to do out here. You're on that run, and you want to make sure you get it in the pocket. You don't want to be tentative, and it just pushes back still a little bit. Still a makeable spare, but you got to make sure you're on top of that sleeper 8-pin. Nice and easy to set up. Stays with the reactive resin ball. Make sure you can hook into the 2-8.
Boy, I guess that's risky. Everyone has a different way of shooting at spares. I am more of the polyester nature, but in a situation like that, I guess when you have a sleeper back there.
Yeah, I always feel more comfortable with the sleeper, because if you miss a little bit one direction, left or right, unless you're right on top of it with that resin ball, the resin ball gives you a little room for air on that sleeper pin. It's got the extra drive to get back through.
9th frame, Ermish. Couldn't trip out the 4.
Give it a little nudge there to the right. 2-pin came off the sideboard, but she knows right now it's about staying clean, and once she knows she has match in hand, she can make the little experiment getting into the championship match against Brent Boho, and we'll probably see her try a couple of different things when she steps up in the 10th frame if she does have a match in hand. And with spares like that, she's keeping match in hand.
Yeah, well, that's what keeps you alive out here in tournament situations, making those spares. For those of you watching at home, that's you can strike all day, but Got to work on that spare game.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Ermish just needs 5 pins in the first ball of the 10th frame if Fallebeck strikes out in order to advance to the championship match. So this match, pretty much done. But another good showing by Fallebeck. It's about 4 years in a row that she's made one of our Hard Knocks Road to Gold television shows. She's got 1 title under her belt, and you know, never say die. You always like to see that with these young players. It's not, oh, I've lost, I'm giving up, I'm not. No,
absolutely
you
not.
keep fighting all the way through, and it's good to see out of Stephanie. You know, she's going to beat herself up a little bit for this performance on TV, but she's going to come back stronger, and I expect to see her probably on TV at least one more time during the summer at the rate she's been bowling.
Yeah, they'll get going over there at Robert Morris College with competition beginning in September.
I want to thank Gina Darashevsky for hosting us again for a great TV event here at Classic Lanes in Greenfield, and she's hosting another great event as a fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Association of Southeastern Wisconsin, the Jimmy the Greek Round to Remember, coming up July 29th at Muskego Lakes Country Club. Go to ClassicLanesGreenfield.com for the info. Might be sold out if you miss it. There's always a couple of good events.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming up for the Alzheimer's Association as well. I know she's a big participant in that Walk to End Alzheimer's, and that's coming up on September 17th. So
I will say about the Jimmy the Greek event out at Muskego Lakes, it's a very, very fun time. I went out there last year, and I'm going to be out there again this year helping out, playing some music, giving away. There's prizes and raffles and silent auction stuff. And 18 holes of golf, and there's a little something different in each and every hole, which makes this a little different. So the Jimmy the Greek Round to Remember.
yeah, and if you want to donate to the Alzheimer's Association in case you can't get out to that Jimmy the Greek Round to Remember, alz.org/SEWI, and you can make a donation directly on the behalf of the Porras family for that great event.
Stephanie already shaking Courtney's hand.
Yeah, this match already over. Now Courtney just has to make sure, you know, it's a chance to experiment, find something. You know you're going to have a tough opponent in Brent Boho, because he came off the 260 game. Courtney here can still get into 230s, but she knows 230 in that championship match, it might not be enough.
How much of Brent Boho's line, I know we would have seen a little bit more of it, when these two are on the lanes together, will his rev rate and style of play affect her line at all?
I don't think so.
No?
She's getting to be a little farther left in the front part of the lane than Brent is. The only thing it might affect maybe later on is her down lane motion. If he's using a low flaring bowling ball, he could push a little bit of oil into the break point area that they're kind of both using. Might make it a little tough for her ball to turn over, but I just don't see that happening with the piece of equipment Courtney has in her hand.
A rematch and a chance for redemption. Courtney Ermish taking on Brent Boho next as the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open continues here on Spectrum Sports.
My first mission, defuse a bomb. My next mission, rescue hostages. Then, I was chosen to protect a VIP. All that, not even a scratch.
Hard Knocks is the world's largest indoor combat simulation arena. Experience real-life combat situations with realistic weaponry using no projectiles. Come to Hard Knocks and choose your mission today.
Are you ready to play? Hard Knocks, Beyond Laser Tag, your indoor war.
Welcome to Greenfield, Wisconsin, home of the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. Championship match time, Phil, between Courtney Ermish and Brent Boho. Deja vu.
A little bit of deja vu from the High Five Gear Open. Courtney Ermish came out on top in that event. Our last one we had at Sunset Bowl in Waukesha here on Spectrum Sports. And not the start Ermish was looking for. Gets the ball into the pocket, leaves the weak 10. She knows with Boho coming off that big 260 game in his semifinal match, she can't leave too many of those 10 pins here in the championship.
Well, Courtney, fresh. She's been pretty active. We had the short commercial break here before the championship match here. We saw Brent in the background getting loose. Is a 25, 30-minute break for Boho going to throw him off here?
Oh, he had a chance to take some warm-up shots on the lane a little farther left of our championship pair. He took his time getting down there, using that practice pair, and he got a couple of shots coming back on the lane. I don't think it's going to affect him too much. These young players, they don't stiffen up and as much as us old guys do.
That's right. I forgot.
So I think Brent's pretty mentally and physically fresh coming back on the pair.
The 19-year-old out of Sussex. And, yeah.
Really?
Trip 710?
Really? I think that's what everybody else, including Brent, is saying right now is, really? That's where the power comes from and the ball speed. Watch that hip pin come to the sideboard, gets bounced back off the 5, takes the 7 down, 6-pin takes out the 10, and that's one of those shots that can give a player a little extra confidence this early in the game. Hey, I kind of carried the half pocket hit, blew out the 7-10. Nothing's going to stop me.
Let's see if Boho can double it up here early. Looks good. Sits down, solid pocket strike.
10 back for Boho, and this is one of Brent's favorite places. He finished second here last year in a Hard Knocks Road to Gold youth event. So Brent likes bowling here at Classic Lanes Greenfield, and I know if you're tell you what, if you're a senior bowler, if you're 55 or older and looking for a great daytime league, this is the place to be. Classic Lanes Greenfield senior leagues, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays that are a lot of fun for the young at heart. And Courtney Ermish fighting back with a strike of her own there.
Direct strike. Looked great. Two different unique styles here between Boho and Ermish. Boho, the two-hander, obviously. Courtney has changed her line from her last match.
Well, I think she's just playing it a little bit straighter. She found something in the 10th frame where you move back a little bit to the right and the ball stays on line a little bit better. Gives you a little more room to miss. That's what you're always looking for, because you're never going to make perfect shots every time. Find the area of the lane that gives you a little room to miss, and she has it right now. The problem is the room to miss is not giving her the chance to carry on lane 13. 13 playing a little bit tighter forward than 14 is, and you see the frustration building for Ermish, but it's just a matter of now make the spares and stay close. Eventually, you'd think they would fall for you.
Yeah, we started to see the tale of two lanes with Stephanie Fallback in that last match. Now that's catching up with Courtney. Now, after a little bit of a break, this man, 19-year-old Brent Boho out of Sussex, continuing to string those strikes. See if we can go for 3 in a row here.
Yeah, that $100 Visa gift card on top. $50 Visa gift card for the second place finisher in this match. And once again, I want to thank all of our host centers this summer on the Hard Knocks Road to Gold Tour for being able to provide those gift cards to our young players. And you can see he got a little bit spinny on the release there. You saw that ball motion from Boho.
Yeah.
And it was more side to side than end over end. And don't think that's what he was trying for on that shot. No need to get extra length right now.
Yeah, coupled maybe with some ball speed or...
I think it was just the revolutions on the ball. He was just around the side of it a bit more than he wanted, and you get that built-in extra length when the ball's rolling side to side. It goes a little bit longer and comes in a little bit harder, and that's not exactly what he needs on this pattern right now. He needs to get a little more end over end, keep it on target line, and you see right now the wheels are always turning with Brent Boho. There's not many smiles that happen, even on quality shots for Brent in the middle of the match. It's like, all right, I threw that one good, but I know I can throw it better. What do I need to do on the next shot?
Well, it just goes to show that these players, Brent and Courtney, and our other two competitors, take this very seriously. Good training grounds for future competition, whether it be college or later down professional career. Light mixer strike for Boho.
And you see that right there for Boho. Not as much around the side of the ball. A little more direct down the lane, and he gets that light mixer shot. Headpin comes off the wall, takes out the 4-7, and keeps himself in that single-digit lead. But Ermish, she can strike here in the 4th and 5th. She can get the lead in this match.
Out of Robert Morris University in Chicago.
That needs to push. Yeah. You just see right there, you see her pump her fist like, yep, I grabbed that one.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do to ease it off the hand in a tight match. And she's lucky to get the 7-pin out, leaves just the 6-10. And she'll switch to that polyester ball, cross lane, and best thing to do, take them both with the ball as she's doing right there.
Courtney would like to thank Kenny Ryan for drilling her balls, coaching staff at Robert Morris University as well. You know, you're continuously learning out here, whether it be at the college level or in competition in a tournament like this. You always take away something.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to go back and look when Courtney was on TV when she won the high school mixed doubles when she was a senior with Billy Hibbard a couple of years ago. You wouldn't see big changes to her game. You see a lot of subtle changes, and there's a big change to the mental game to keep her on line here in the high 5-gear 5th frame.
Oh.
And another 10-pin for Ermish. And
So
come back, Courtney, come back. You got to make
Gotta
that
finish
spare. And I can understand why she'd want to walk her right now because that ball hit a little bit better. Still a little deflection. 6-pin low and wrapped around the 10. She could have gotten the break and, you know, right there. You got to be kidding me. And we've all been there.
Right.
But she's not out of the match yet. If she can find a way to carry on that left lane, she still has a chance to take home this championship.
I don't know, look back at that last match. Yeah, she started, you know, she had a 4-bagger in her last match. 7-spare, 9-spare, strike, 9-spare. So transition, if you just look at the score sheet, looked like in the last game for Stephanie. It looked like she found it in the beginning of this match, but again, it's gone away just as quick.
It's just a matter of finding that little bit of a different angle to make sure you're kicking the 10 out. She's in the pocket, but if the ball's not hitting strong, the 10-pin's just going to be your nemesis. Brent Boho looking to get another $25 high 5-gear gift certificate.
Waboom.
Gee, there's a surprise. Brent takes home. Yeah, Brent takes home another $25 5-gear gift certificate. So
You know, you got to keep the jersey updated, Phil. And like I said in an earlier match, you know, year to year, you can't wear the same jersey. Year to year.
And the best part about high 5 gears, you have a style you have in mind. Their great stylists will come up with a jersey that'll fit what you're looking for. So the jerseys hold together great. The jersey I wore in the Open, I've had that jersey for 8 years now. It hasn't faded.
Yeah.
Sleeve, you know, all the threads are good on it. They last a long, long time.
All right, more of the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open. The boys versus the girls continues next here on Spectrum Sports.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Welcome back to the championship match of the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow, Courtney Ermish on a Big Ben. Down, but not out.
31 pins of deficit. You got to come out of that commercial break, and you have to come out striking if you're Ermish.
Good chance to regroup at the break. Let's see if it helped. Oy.
Same thing she did in the 4th frame. Just grabbed it a bit on the bottom, gave it a little bit left. It's a pressure situation. You know you need to strike to put any pressure on your opponent. And now nothing wrong with going for it in this situation. If you make it, you give yourself a little extra momentum. You give yourself the extra 11 pins on the board with a spare.
Maybe the boost that she needs if she converts.
Can't go wrong with that effort. Nothing wrong with that. Problem is now you're down by almost 50 pins, and your max score is 222. You know, with what Brent Boho's thrown all day long, which is a lot of strikes, you're going to need every one of them on the rest of the way out if you're Courtney Ermish to make it happen.
It's how you bounce back from a bad situation. How will she bounce back here in the 7th and more trouble?
Well, you're trying to make sure the ball finishes strong. You've left 3 straight weak 10 pins on that lane, and you get up, pressure situation, you just give it that little extra hand, you steer it a little bit to the left, and this as well, not an easy spare. We saw this chopped earlier in the day by Dylan Schaefer.
You were talking earlier, Phil, an 1/8 of an inch. There's no room for error out here, even through transition. You have to find it immediately.
You only have 5 frames on one lane. If you throw 3 of those and you leave those weak 10s, you really got to set yourself up for something late in the game.
Right.
And unfortunately for Ermish, looks like that light is starting to fade quickly.
The man who says, bowl is life. The 19-year-old out of Sussex, Brent Boho, the unique creep up to the foul line. And just drifted there.
Same thing he did earlier when he left that 2-4-8 combination. Just kind of got around the side of it a little bit. And you see right there, can't do that. He knows it's going to push too long, not finish properly. should be happy he just left the 2-pin on that shot. Easy spare, maintain the lead. And you're kind of in cruise control right now, trying to get into the finish. You know, if you fill frames, you're taking home this title.
I don't want to say Courtney's line may have had something to do with this, but that entry angle into the pocket,
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not using really aggressive shells on these bowling balls. Both of them have a little bit of polish on them. And with the track flare that these bowling balls have, it's going to remove a little oil, but it's not going to change it that much from shot to shot at this point in time.
The bounce back. There we go. Solid pocket strike.
Yeah, you just see right there. Stay up and through the ball. The strong roll as it got down the lane. Got back flush in the pocket, and Brent can pretty much sign his name to the back of the $100 Visa gift card and get ready to spend it.
Yeah. A sigh of relief from Brent. The curse is over.
I think the curse is over. You can see right there, Ermish not happy with her performance in this championship match. She still has 212 out there, but right now Boho, that leaves room for Boho with 1 open frame. I don't see Brent opening twice towards the end of this game.
The accolades for Ermish from the Sean Yonan, which you mentioned in 2016, a 3rd place finish earlier this year. NAIA national champion with Robert Morris University. Come on.
Just another. You just see right there. She goes, I finally threw one really good in that lane, and I smashed a 7-pin. And I'd be talking to myself for a couple of frames after that as well, because you see the 2 just hits the 4, it sends it straight back, and it's just like,
come on.
What else can I do? I mean, the $50 Visa gift card, not a bad consolation prize for Ermish right now. I mean, these young players, they're only paying $15 a tournament. They're getting their 4 games of qualifying in before we get the TV.
Right.
And they're getting the experience before they go to these big tournaments like Teen Masters and Junior Gold to really keep them sharp during the summer when they don't have youth leagues or collegiate competition back and forth. So I know a lot of these young players will really appreciate this tournament series for getting them ready and sharp for those big summer tournaments.
And I would even say into the future on the PBA Tour, you take all of that experience and you're learning all along the way.
Well, it could be a little bit different for Boa right now if Ermish would have carried that last strike, because this 3, 6, 9, 10, never easy to convert. And you just see that 5-pin gets sent between the 3 and the 9, taking neither one out.
The downfall of such a high rev rate. You just rip that rag, you just slice it right in half.
But the quality cover, and now this is really just the victory lap for Boho. He's already locked up this title here at Classic Lanes Greenfield, and a little revenge, not just against Courtney Ermish, but last year here at Classic Lanes Greenfield in the title match against Megan Pozek.
Yep.
Pozek took him out with a clean game, and Brett made 1 error on a spare early in the match. Never got past that, and Megan Pozek took home that title. So, but now Brent Boho can add a 1 to the win column against the ladies over the last couple of years here on the Hard Knocks Road to Gold series.
A victory for 19-year-old Brent Boho out of Sussex, Wisconsin.
And it's going to be pretty interesting to see where these young players that we see all summer long finish in Junior Gold. When this program airs, Junior Gold will already be in the books, and maybe a couple of these young players might be in the top 16, or maybe even making their way to Junior Team USA if they bowl well enough in Cleveland.
Hopefully Cleveland will rock for all of our Wisconsin kids here.
And with the match no longer in doubt, Courtney's going to come up, throw a shot here, get things finished, and yeah, a little lighthearted right now. And Courtney, I think went there right. Are you happy now?
Yeah,
You finally beat me.
You got me finally.
And of course now, that is the one thing that is fun about watching Courtney bowl, is you know exactly where you stand as she throws ball to ball.
The pressure's off now. Of course you're going to strike, right?
Yes, indeed. But once again, want to thank Gina Dereshevsky for hosting us again here. Brent Boho, 223 in the books. And Van, time to wrap this up. Let's let the bowlers finish and get on out of here and get ready for our next event.
All right, thanks for watching the 2017 Classic Lanes Greenfield Open.
Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com. greenfieldwhisconsin.com.
A great day of bowling here at Classic Lanes Greenfield for the 2017 Open, the summer of Boho. Great to see him get a victory.
Yeah, gets in the winner's circle. Great opening game against Dylan Schaefer. Shot that big 260 game. Then in the final match against Courtney Ermish, Courtney, you thought would give him a really good run. Courtney lost her carry on that left lane. 3 straight weak 10 pins, really the difference early on in the match. And then when she opened in the 6th frame coming out of the commercial break, that pretty much ended any chance Courtney had on that. But, hey, Brent finally broke the streak, gets his first victory against a young lady on TV, and something tells me there'll probably be a few more victories for Brent coming up in his career.
And I'm sure a few more battles between him and Courtney and the ladies.
Oh, no doubt about that at all. So can't wait till we get to AMF Bolero for our next event, the AMF Bolero Shootout. Last regular season Hard Knocks Road to Gold event, and the competition there should be very fierce. On a really short pattern, bowlers are going to have their work cut out for them when they get to the lanes that day.
All right, check out the AMF Bolero Shootout. You can check out on-demand replays, and on YouTube, just search Essential Bowling Concepts. For Phil Brylow, I'm Van McNeil. Thanks for watching.